Hey, what's up, wonderful Kenyans? I want to welcome you to another wonderful episode of the number one trending and topical issues podcast in the 254. I do hope that you're doing for wonderful and you are excited to be with us on this particular show. We'll get to show you a different side of this particular coin that we do call the 254. And in case you're joining us for the very first time, I want to say karibuni sana. This Simple Nyumbani, which is our feel at home. And of course, feel free to interact with us on our different social media platforms. We are on Twitter at Kenyan Podcast, on Facebook at Kenyan Podcast, on Instagram at Kenyan Podcast, on Spotify, the Kenyan Podcast, and also on your other favorite podcasting platforms. You will find us there. My name is Pikes, alongside the wonderful co-host Kari. I
Yes.
hope that
Hi.
everyone is doing well. You can say hello to the family.
Hello, everyone. It's I, Queen Kari, and welcome back.
And welcome back to the show. And maybe perhaps people are wondering what has Kari been up to this particular week. How has your week been?
Hey, it's been long,
It's been a long
but
one.
productive.
Have you been rained on? Has it? Have any of your friends or family or colleagues been affected by the flash floods?
Uh, yeah, but
Yeah,
not like majorly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe perhaps.
one like flooding, like
Mm,
around the house,
mm, yeah,
homes. Yeah, even how to reach to the workplace.
yeah, has
Yeah.
been a bit difficult. I don't know if you did see some videos this particular week. The videos of the Nairobi Expressway on Mombasa Road. You look at Mombasa Road and also the Nairobi Expressway. The whole area has become like a swimming pool.
Mhm.
And people have been complaining day in, day out if something can be done. But I think the way it was designed, maybe perhaps I understand the way it was designed, maybe there was a design flaw. That is why we have in all these particular water on this particular Nairobi Expressway. But nonetheless, for me, the week has been wonderful. I would say there has not been much to complain about, but towards the end of this particular week, I would have one big reason to complain about. Naongelelea kuhusu KPLC manze. KPLC again and again and again. I understand that, of course, the rains would affect how the power supply. But then again, did you witness a blackout in your home
Yes,
where you come from?
yes, yes.
How are people responding?
Okay, because of the place I'm coming from,
Yeah,
it's normal.
yeah.
But
Stima zinapotea potea tu kila saa, ni kawaida.
kukinyesha,
People,
obviously lazima
watu
kuwe
wamezoea sahi any other time that
yeah,
people are ready for that. But I
yeah.
think we should not normalize power outages just every other day, because when you look at maybe perhaps people who are relying on electricity to make their business, to make their income, maybe perhaps someone is running a cyber, someone has a salon, someone has a kinyozi, someone has whatever other business that they rely heavily on 100% on electricity, then it means that they are not able to go about their business. But nonetheless, I would just like to say that maybe perhaps it would also have to do with the management of KPLC, Kenya Power and Lighting Company. And apart from that, kuna history ingine like the rates of the rates. Watu wanapata ukibuy tokens, if you buy tokens, you realize that sometimes you buy tokens and you wonder how is my money being spent, because maybe perhaps you used to spending maybe perhaps let's say 500 or whatever amount. Then again, you look at the number of tokens that you're getting, unapata easy tokens ni less kabisa. But anyway, I do hope that KPLC something gets to change. For me, if you get to ask me, I would love to see some changes. KPLC, maybe perhaps the management and also perhaps the way they operate the business. This is the Kenyan podcast. We are not here just to lament about everything. We shall also be sharing with you some positive news coming from the 254. And last week when we were on the show, Kari, you remember we were talking about the death of the chief defense, the chief defense
Yes.
head of the chief of the defense forces. What did happen is that the government has been working to, of course, find a replacement for him,
Yeah.
and there was a replacement with now we do have a new chief of the defense forces. And apart from that, we also have something very very positive to share, and I'm talking about the nomination of a woman. For the very first time, a woman is being nominated to also be a leader in the defense forces. Let me share with us a real quick of this particular video of the woman that has been appointed, and her name is Fatuma. Let me just share with us this particular video which shows wanawake pia sahi they get their rightful recognition, and they are also recognized for their effort and also for their contribution. So let me share with us this particular video. She's a very first woman who has been sworn in as a Kenya Air Force commander. Let me share this with everyone so that you can also see. Then you need to know and sometimes people do say, oh, women are not being well represented in workplaces. But I think with this government, there are so many things I can say about this government. But one thing I want to say, is that they have looked into equity and equality. And let me share this video, and also Kari will let us know what she thinks about
I, Fatma Gaiti Ahmed, Commander of the Kenya Air Force, do swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya and to the President as the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. That I will obey, preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of Kenya and all other laws of the Republic, and that I will protect and uphold the sovereignty, integrity, dignity of the people of
And
Kenya.
I would say when people are holding up the Bibles like this and are doing their swearing, sometimes they get to work and they forget some of the promises that maybe perhaps they made to the people when they were actually being sworn in. So, what is your opinion or your view about the appointment of a woman to become the first woman actually ever appointed to be the Kenya Air Force Commander? Unazosema like, what is your response or what is your opinion regarding the president nominating a woman?
First of all,
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
Yeah.
As a woman,
Yeah.
to see the first
woman.
Yeah.
Yes. Air Force Commander, being
Yes.
appointed the first woman Air Force Commander.
Yes.
And I would actually just say, when you look at other countries, maybe perhaps you'll be talking about gender equality, maybe perhaps in a government positions. But when you look at other countries, you realize that, for example, in Rwanda, they do have about 60%. I understand 60% of the women, 60% of the members of parliament also being women, which is actually a very, very good thing. And I do hope that even in Kenya, we might get to a level where maybe perhaps you do have representation of women in different places. The only problem I do have with when it comes to appointment, you do find that when it comes to like elections, maybe perhaps you do have the governor Gladys Wanga, who is the governor for the woman governor.
Mhm.
And it's very, very difficult for women to also vote and elect other women. That is what you do find. Wanawake na wanakwanga like wenyewe ndio maadui wa wenyewe. Like women wanasema, oh, mbona huyu mama anataka tuongoze this and that. But then again, we have seen the ability or the capability of women in leadership also being tested and proven. And I would also say it's actually a positive thing. Tanzania, unaona, how do you think their president is performing? She's a woman, Samia Suluhu. How do you think she's performing? Do you think that she's doing a good job, or do you think that she's lacking as a woman being a leader?
She's doing what she's supposed to do as a president. But because there's that difference between, a male president and a female president, you as a female, you're supposed, or rather the community will think, not even think,
they would expect maybe perhaps
expect you to act like the previous, or rather as a male. But in real sense, you can't, because even how you leadership things are different. So for me personally, I can say she's doing a good job.
She's doing a wonderful, Samia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let her continue doing her job.
Let her continue doing what she is doing right there in Tanzania. This is a Kenyan podcast. We do hope that you are well and you are tuning in to yet another great episode where we get to discuss different matters. And today we shall be discussing matters that are trending and topical. We shall be letting you know what is also going on with the whole issue of the school openings. Last week on Monday, learners were supposed to go back to school and they were supposed to go and learn, resume or continue with their learning. But the very final minute, the minister or the cabinet assistant for education, Ezekiel Mashogu, actually he made an announcement very late at night. It was around maybe 10 or 11. That is when the students or the nation was alerted that there will be a postponement of the opening dates for the schools. And some parents actually did not get the memo. So you realize that on Monday, kuna wazazi wengi ambao wako wanajua ati shule imepostponiwa, so they still sent up their kids to go. And what did happen is that wengine walifika kwa stage wakaambiwa, shule imepostponiwa, you guys should now start going back home. And there was a bit of a mishap because watu wako wana expect, kulikuwa na miscommunication. So watu wamepanga watoto wao wa shule warudi shule asubuhi, and then wanarudi wakifika maybe kwa stage wanaambiwa no, it has been postponed. So what I would like to say, maybe perhaps the government has done something positive, because maybe when you look at the situation with the rain in the country, and you would not want your children, or to send your children to school, and then on the roads they experience accidents because of what is going on with the flooding situation right now. But then again, also waiting until the last minute, kungoja hadi fika 11 ndio mna announce siku kabisa, I think that is also not something quite positive. That is according to my personal opinion. But what do you think about the extension of the postponement of school opening days? What is your opinion, maybe perhaps yourself?
First of all,
yeah,
this rain didn't start yesterday.
Yeah, true.
And the flood didn't start yesterday.
So
they knew what it was happening.
Yeah.
So first of all, that's negligent.
Yeah.
That's been ignorant, because it can't take you
the whole time. Days? Yeah.
It's been a month, right?
Yeah.
And then now you're deciding, because they're opening school,
let's just postpone last minute.
No.
The last minute. So inakuwa ni shida, because at the end of the day, what I think would have happened, there would have been, of course, the government has information. For example, we do have the weather department, or the meteorological department in Kenya. So for that department, you would expect that they have furnished the government with information. For example, right now, Kenya Weather Meteorological Department wamesema the range will continue for another 1 week, so they at least have an idea of what will happen. So you cannot wake up tomorrow morning and say, now kids go back to school. Some places, if you guys have been very keen, you realize even bridge is being carried away by the water. Other different infrastructure has been destroyed, and people cannot be able to move around and maybe commute as they would have been able to do before the rains. But then again, I would actually just want to say that it is very important. Lives are important. Protecting the lives of these children is the first priority, and then you look at now, of course, the educational needs. But I will be sharing with you a video of what has been happening with the rain situation, and then you can also let me know as you listen in. You can let me know what is your opinion about the postponement of this right here in Kenya. Please let us know what you feel about the same. No, no, this is fish. These are guys who are actually just catching fish everywhere, because the rain has brought the fish to their doorsteps. And therefore, what was happening is that they will just actually go out there with the buckets and just catch these particular fish anyhow, because the water has brought the fish nearby. Those who are happy lots here just are getting to fish and do it in a very, very simple way. But also, we do have other people that have been affected, and these are also being showcased by Mamito. This is a Kenyan comedian who was actually critiquing the government response because the government is seen as to be doing very, very little as opposed to just going in there doing full force and responding. That's Mamito's shenanigans. But apart from that, we do have real cases of the lives of our people being lost, because one of the lorries that was ferrying people was actually swept away at Sultan Hamud. This is sliding on. But then again, sometimes you think these people sometimes they are exposing themselves to the risk, or do you think maybe perhaps it's because of bad luck? What is your opinion? Maybe perhaps with these truck. Ilikuwa ni bahati mbaya, ama maybe guys did get to expose themselves to the danger.
No, I think it's just frustration. I can see it's frustration.
So as well,
no, I will. Because common sense.
Yeah, sometimes
you just see it's a flowing river.
Yeah, and it's flooding.
And it has, strong current.
Yeah.
So Yeah, but at the same time, there's that frustration. You want to go home. You've been rained on. You feel like
You just want to get home, get
yes.
on the other side.
Yeah. So for a minute, I can't fully blame them, but at the same time, I do because
sometimes some akile mtu wangu. That is the thing that should happen. But nonetheless, our family, this is again podcast, the number one training and topical issues podcast, 254. Please let us know how the floods have been affecting you, whether it has affected your work, whether it has affected how you live, because in some cases, people have actually seen even their homes being swept away. So we are not even just talking about jobs and occupations. We're also talking about the day-to-day livelihoods of people. Some people have been warned, but then again, sometimes you're warned and you think, serikali kona mchezo, see, this rain normally rains and we never leave this particular place. Sometimes people are given warnings and they do not quite respond to these warnings the way they are supposed to. But if you are given a warning, please heed to this particular warning. Make sure that you are listening to the experts, because the government has information, and that is why they are actually advising people sometimes to move away from these particular places where they are actually staying at. This is a Kenyan podcast. Like I did say, you can shoot us an email, kenyanpodcast@gmail.com. We would absolutely love to hear from you and know how everything is coming along just fine. And of course, in case you would have some topical issues that you would like us to address on the show, please feel free also to join us and connect with us on this particular platform as well. But moving fast forward to another different story, which is actually on a lighter note. I want to talk about this report, and this was a report talking about Kenya was ranked as having the most handsome men. And now that we do have Kari here, maybe she can let us know if this report is anything that people should go by, on this is just another way of just the media lacking content and deciding that Kenyan men are the most handsome according to this research that was put out, I believe, about 2 weeks ago, about maybe a week ago. I'm really not quite sure when this research was put out. But maoni yako ni gani kuhusu hii ripoti mpya ambayo inasema Kenya did rank as the country with the most handsome men in Africa, and Mr. World Kenya Kevin Odu stood out as one of the most desirable men globally, contributing to Kenya's ranking. And Kenyans did express criticism and humor regarding the research finding, and they have questioned the accuracy. For you, Kari, maybe you would let us know your opinion on these research. Opinion yako ni gani ile?
Ni ukweli.
It's true?
It's true kunao.
Yeah.
Kunao. Yes.
Kuna wale, kuna wenyewe.
Let me say this. Kunao. Full stop. Says the rank where
Kari is actually just dating on Kenyan men, and she's saying that kuna wale or kuna wao, and she just leaves it at that, which is not good enough. I would wish you would get more information and see is it tall, dark, and handsome, or is it what exactly are these? What was it, or the metrics, or the parameters being used to give us these ranking? Anyhow, it might be the tall, dark, and handsome. These are Nubian men. They might confuse Sudanese men for Kenyan men, but anyhow, I do not speak much into that. I was not a part of that research. It was conducted mostly on women, because I wouldn't know. But nonetheless, it's women who would be rating. How are men rating other men as being the most handsome? Yeah, that's a whole lot of hormone. But anyway, that is.
So you would
be rating another man whether they're handsome. Why would I be involved in rating another man whether they're handsome? That would be a total waste of time. But on the other hand, I would say Kenya has some of the most beautiful women. I would be involved in that research, and I would actually even say some of the places that you find these wonderful Kenyan women. But anyhow, that is just it for me. On the other hand, I don't know, Kari, if you came across this particular video of these two ladies from Tanzania. And they were trashing Kenyan women, saying that we do not have beautiful women in Africa. What was your opinion of the same as well?
Let me say this.
Yeah.
There's a I can't say a research.
Yeah.
But people were
doing a survey, ranking, yeah.
Like women in Africa.
Yeah.
And I think in third place was Tanzania in terms of body.
Tanzania, you're talking about the figure, the shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in terms of, face and interview, I can say Kenyans are,
Kenyans, Carrie says Kenyans have the face cut. The Kenyan women have the face cut. There you have it. But
for her, she didn't say good. She didn't say it in
in a good way. She actually said in a bad taste.
Like she was like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
You're not even close to eat.
To eat. Actually, you're very, very far from it.
Yeah. Okay,
but,
no, how she was saying, how we are not even close to being ranked
as anything.
As number 4. You know,
Yeah, that's cold. That's cold.
That's top 5.
Yeah.
And for them, I think, okay, let me not.
Anyhow, I would actually just say, for me, when it comes to beautiful women, Africa has the most beautiful women. I would just say Africa. But then again, I've been to Rwanda myself. I've seen Rwandese women. They are very, very pretty. I understand also South African women are very, very pretty. I would say Ethiopian women are very, very pretty. Kenyan women are number 1, of course.
You know, another thing is, I think people rank these things in terms of like,
they say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. What I might see as beautiful might not be particularly beautiful to you. Maybe, perhaps, let us know. Those who are luckily with us, please do let us know what your opinion is about these researches that purport Kenya to has the most handsome men, and also purport, according to these Tanzanian ladies, that Kenya doesn't have beautiful women. Please let us know what are your opinions regarding these particular matters. This is the Kenyan podcast, and of course, we are moving a little bit fast forward. We want to go into a whole different issue which has caused a lot of controversy. And this is about political figures, or these are about politicians and wealthy men with influence in the society and their marital affairs. And I'm talking about 2 men. We shall be starting with the former governor of Kakamega. Of course, he is Wycliffe Oparanya. And recently there were some videos doing rounds on photos doing rounds on social media. And these photos, ilikuwa Oparanya na mpoa wake. And then Twitter, Kenyans on X have made it such a big deal that pictures za Oparanya na mpoa wake zimetokea, and these are photos of them. I think they were at a studio where they just decided to take photos. I'm not sure where they were, but then again, these photos came up. You know, Kenyans on Twitter went at him saying, "No, huyu ni mwenye ambaye ako na ndoa, ako kwa ndoa, ako na mabibi wawili. Why would you also now be taking pictures with other men?" But I think in the traditional African context, Africans were polygamous in nature. If you get to ask me, polygamy is something that was embraced from our different cultures. For example, in the Maasai community, you find a man, since they are able to fend for maybe perhaps 3 wives, you can marry 3 wives. And then in the different other, maybe the Luya community, the Kikuyu community, the Samburu, whatever other communities you go to, you would find that men were allowed, or men, it was in their predisposition to, of course, have more than 1 wife. Then again, the thing is now, Oparanya, I understand, they have not maybe perhaps officially made it public, or they are not officially wedded, and therefore it is understood this is just a girlfriend. Maybe perhaps I would call her so. She is 31 years. Oparanya himself, I understand, is about 60 or 66 thereabout, and therefore that is why the big question has been coming up. But for you, Carrie, please do let us know what is your opinion when it comes to these politicians, you know, and them being involved in extra marital affairs or being involved in different relationships. Let us know what is your opinion regarding that particular matter.
First of all, for me, I don't vote for. Okay, as you said, it's allowed because it's, you know, the African way or culture. But at the same time, I do not vote for cheating. If you have 1 wife, stay with that 1 wife.
So you're already saying 1 that wife. He was
If me personally, I can't deal with someone that already has someone. Especially a wife, kids.
But then again, there's a song. There are kids, of course. There are kids. O'Brien is an old man with 2 wives, I understand. And allegedly now, he of course made a video himself, saying that the photos have been going around are the photos of him and the loved one. This is Oparanya, and we'll be sharing with us this particular video, so that you can also give us your feedback or your remark regarding this whole matter of Oparanya and Gashungoa, as we would say. Let us know what you feel about this particular day. Speak. I would also love to know from Kari what she thinks about the age difference between the former governor and the young lady who is 31.
Trying to circulate the
So this is actually a weekly for Paranya, and he was actually saying that the photos are legit, these are genuine photos. And then he also goes and proceeds to say that what is wrong with someone taking a photo with their loved one? What is wrong with that? Why are people jealous? Why are people feeling some type of way when it comes to him just just taking life as it's supposed to be, and maybe perhaps I would say for him, since he's a man with resources, ni mwanaume ambaye ako na uwezo, and maybe perhaps anatafuta watoto kula hii pesa yake, then why not? This is according to my personal opinion. You guys let us know what you think about Weekly for Paranya and the videos, the photos that have been trending, doing rounds on our social media. Let me know how you feel about them and what you feel about the whole issue of the age difference. For you, Kari, what do you think about the age difference? What is your opinion about the age difference between Paranya and this young lady? Does the age difference matter, or would you say age is just but a number, and watu kama wanapendana hakuna haja ya mambo na like the age? What is your opinion?
Age is just a number.
Age is just a number. So apparently hata kama angekuwa 90 and this lady is 20 22 22.
Okay, first of all, unaangalia ni nini behind the camera,
what is
behind whatever the story. If msichana kwa hapo for something, let it be.
Yeah, if she's there for something.
If she's not there for the
she's there for love.
Yeah,
she's there for love. Amependwa akapendeka na ametosheka pale hapo. Okay, this is the Kenyan podcaster, and this is what Kari has to say. She says that her age is just but a number. But then again, when it comes to numbers,
but not for everyone.
Not for everyone. Anyhow, family, this is what Oparanya has been up to. And apart from Oparanya, we also do have a story concerning another key figure in Kenya. And we are talking about the former IEBC chairman. We are talking about the one and only Wafula Chebukati. And for Wafula Chebukati, the story is quite sad because a woman has come out on social media, on Facebook. Her name is Susan. And Susan has alleged that that Wafula Chebukati did transmit HIV. They were in a relationship. They actually met in 2020. And they got engaged in a relationship, and then things went the way they went, and of course they got intimate, and of course, just as a normal relationship would go, of course, Wafula Chebukati also has a wife and has children and things like that. But then again, mapenzi ya watu wawili hatuwezi kuyaingililia. That is what we do say in Swahili. So what did happen is that there was a child, walipata mtoto kulingana na ile the relationship. But then again, Wafula Chebukati disowned the child. That is what the lady was saying, that Wafula Chebukati disowned the child. And apart from disowning the child, the lady came to realize that Wafula Chebukati also had transmitted HIV and AIDS to this lady. And now this lady is coming out and claiming for justice, and claiming that the child also gets disowned. What is your opinion regarding the same? What is your opinion regarding this relationship and maybe Wafula, first and foremost, him disowning the child? What would you say regarding that?
But it's common among men.
Yeah.
So it will not be a shocker.
It wouldn't be like imekuwa ni kawaida sana. But then for me,
kuna watu wanakatanga watoto wao
sita. 6 children. See, achana na huo moja. So this is her name is Susan Nekesa. And Susan Nekesa has actually come out, and the information she shared, she was saying that this relationship led into them getting this particular son. And for me, what I would say, when you're going into a relationship, just be quite open. Of course, men will not be, even women. Sometimes you find women are the ones that have transmitted this disease to whomever, and they will not be very, very forthcoming with the information regarding their statuses, their statuses. And apart from that, even making it worse is that you are denied any kind of legitimacy, because legitimacy is actually very, very key. Legitimacy should be a place where someone is actually agreeing that they were involved, or they are to take a share of their responsibility. For now, this young woman, I understand she's also a bit young compared to the age of Wafula Chebukati. Now, how would she go about raising her child? Because maybe perhaps she's not even maybe her on a job, or maybe perhaps she doesn't have this. she's not very well able to cater to the needs of this particular child. When it comes to responsibility, for me, I do believe as a man, we are failing somewhat, because in this kind of society, as you hear Carrie saying imekuwa very, very normal. Baby daddies just walking around freely, and no repercussions are coming up to them. For me, I would say it is important that we do have that conversation once again as a society, or as a Kenyan people, so that there would be channels, maybe perhaps there will be channels, even when the responsibility has been denied, where the responsibility can be proven. I think there would be a way of having a structure where the interests of the child are put first, and this child can be able to receive this help from the father and also from the mother at the very, very same time. Nonetheless, this has been the Kenyan podcast, your number one training and topical riches podcast. And I would say we shall be discussing much, much more on our different social media platforms. I said on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Please make it a point of taking us out whenever you are able to. And we shall be bringing much, much more matters right here on the show with a wonderful Carrie. And also, maybe perhaps if you do have a closing remark, you can share with us your closing remark. Unaweza taka kutuambia nini as we wind up?
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Jichunge,
watu wakuwe rada.
Yeah.
In all.
And pray.
Yeah.
Pray. Do.
Yeah.
Vile kunaenda.
Akwendi poa.
Akwendi vizuri. Maybe tulifanya kitu that, took us to another, direction. We need to seek God more than anything else.
Okay, I would agree with Carrie on that particular one. I would say, divine intervention is needed even when you do have cases like these of floods and things like that. Calamities, natural calamities are happening and affecting our country like this. Of course, it's not the only country where these calamities are being found, but nonetheless, it's still important to just have a self-reflection as a country. Asanteni sana kwa kuungana nasi and being with us on the show for today. We want to wish you a happy and a productive rest of your week and even the weekend. For now, it's me, Spike, signing out. Till next time, I want to say kwaheri.
Bye.